you yesterday how this has become a dirty word, the word dialogue in Syria, because of the nature of the conflict at the moment. We have found ourselves in a very polarized and almost militarized situation. And I think one of the shortcomings of the nonviolence movement in the Arab world was because there was not enough preparation and enough awareness about the power of violence as such. So what happened is that although nonviolence was used, but it was more in metaphors of war and confrontation and clash, and the also lack of flexibility. So when certain techniques didn't work in nonviolence, we didn't come up, as my friend Afra Jalabi yesterday, who I quoted, was always saying that if one technique or one tactic doesn't work, we need to come up with another creative thing that would put the regime on a reactive mode instead of ourselves being in the reactive mode to the regime. And which is why the Syrian regime precisely plucked out those non-violent leadership in the Syrian opposition, people like Afra Jalabi, Ghiyath Matar, Anas al-Shobri, and also Islam Dabbas, those who were really doing this kind of critical analysis of how to constantly strategize and to come up with new solutions. So what we're learning in Syria now, those of us in the non-violence movement, is that although the Egyptian, and I talked briefly about this yesterday, although the Egyptian revolution and the Tunisian revolutions inspired us, but they had specific goals and they had extremely a short time in achieving that, which now we're realizing they're telling us they didn't achieve actually to bring down the regime. We really imprisoned ourselves in a slogan, الشعب يريد إسقاط النظام. The people want to bring the system down. And that becomes, when we have a specific goal and a timetable, as I said yesterday, whatever we achieve in building the movement and in creating awareness is constantly a source of disappointment. We always see it as stopping short of achieving this goal. Whatever we achieve is we haven't brought down the system. Look, Egypt and Tunisia have brought down the system. So we have been discussing how we should become process-oriented instead of result-oriented in Syria. And this is what also made us aware in the nonviolence movement. We recently discussed how when the Syrian revolution started, the roof of the demands was freedom and democracy. And then later we want to bring the system down, which was a taboo word, but for the people it felt euphoric to be able to shout this slogan. And then we went to another slogan, the people want to execute the president, الشعب يريد إعدام الرئيس. So because of the continuous killing and the brutality of the regime. So the interesting thing is that the people kept feeling that they were raising the bar and that the roof of their demands was going higher up. Well, first we were demanding democracy and freedom, and freedom, especially freedom. And now we're demanding to bring down the system, and now we're even asking for the execution of the president. And because it expressed these gut feelings of profound anger and frustration, we felt we were raising the bar. And people in the nonviolence movement have been saying, in fact, what we've done was we inverted the situation. We actually were bringing the bar down. We were lowering our demands because we were becoming, again, caught up in a specific oriented goal with a timetable. We wanted to even, this result by this time we should be done. And so today when I saw the Libyan thing, the slogan, we want you hanged to Gaddafi, I thought, I guess we're going through this process. So as Mary today said, we really have a great deal of information and facts on the ground to be able to create this lateral sharing of facts and how these nonviolent revolutions went through certain strengths and also through certain weaknesses that actually exacerbated the situation into these polarized conflicts. And so what happened is that because of this kind of inflexibility in dealing with the situation, what ended up happening is that we were not able to deal even with the tactics and to further come up with new solutions or to even improvise on them. So for example, we wanted to do the strikes in Syria as a way of minimizing actually danger. The demonstrations were considered dangerous. People were snipers were killing people. But what happened is that strikes turned out, we found out, were far more dangerous, because you could join a mob demo for 10 minutes, scream slogans, come and disappear into certain neighborhoods. But when you closed down your shop, then you became a conspicuous opposition figure. And so therefore what happened is that the danger element was completely not assessed in terms of the tactics and how they were working. And so therefore now we're looking at how strikes are actually probably the most dangerous at this phase of the revolution, and demos are less dangerous. But now some of the activists on the ground have been telling us that they also don't need to put people out there on the streets in the line of fire, basically, and that they probably are better off with sit-ins inside homes, videotaping these and creating brochures and flyers, and what Mary referred to earlier today, a movement awareness, or creating a movement, rather than just creating these kind of confrontational methods.